The 1980s had various cinematic trends, slasher films, over-the-top action, and enough mults to sew a jumper with. But one of the decade's stronger fixations, however, was the sheer volume of small monster movies. Basically films featuring tiny monsters taking over small towns and having a lot of fun doing so. There's no denying which one of these films started the trend, which also happened to be the originator, 1984's Gremlins, directed by Joe Dante. The film gained a large controversy at the time for its fairly graphic violence, despite its low PG rating. It's basically had the 80s equivalent of Karens up in arms seeing the Spielberg producer credit and expecting another E.T. More importantly, however, this movie made bank, grossing in a whopping $151 million domestically.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Okay.
No wonder they made so many of these movies. I mean, there was Critters, Ghoulies, The Gate, Puppet Master, Munchies, the list goes on. But out of all of its imitators, 1988's Hobgoblins, directed by Rick Sloane, is certainly one of them. Yeah, I won't lie, this film stands kilometers below Gremlins, but that was obvious, just look at it. But what does this movie do that makes it worse? Well, first off, there's the characters. The characters from Gremlins weren't anything special, they were your usual standard suburban Americans that the 80s movies love to use. But that down-to-earth slice-of-life feel the characters gave off in the first half made for a perfect tonal shift by the second half to complete chaos and destruction. You could say maybe the characters served the movie well? And the characters in Hobgoblins? They behave more like Oblivion NPCs.
Your money or your life. You're smarter than you look. Take it. It's worthless to me anyway.
There's this scene where this girl's boyfriend has come back from the Marines and randomly challenges her friend's boyfriend to a lightsaber battle with garden tools. Then, when the other guy loses, his girlfriend gets pissed off at him because he's not an alpha male or something. Then besides those characters, there's this one down bad guy, and when I say down bad, I mean down bad. Bro spends his friend's phone bills on the same-sex hotline at his own house. If this was present day, you just know he'd have that top-tier OnlyFans subscription, for real. This is obviously a far cry from the characters in Gremlins. Not that Hobgoblins needed to copy them, it's just that the movie's characters are annoying, weird, or weird and annoying. But the focus of these movies are the monsters, and their shenanigans anyway. The titular Gremlins were conceptualized by Chris Wallace and then brought to life by a large crew of talented individuals using animatronics and puppets. The final result was some of the most iconic special effects sequences of the 80s, like the bar scene is a certified hit classic with gag after gag, and it really makes me sad that we never see practical effects used this heavily in films today. As for Hobgoblins, I mean the puppets themselves don't look terrible, it's just that the best case scenario is that they're simple hand puppets, and otherwise they're clearly just stiff teddy bears with no movement, and they're being held by someone off screen. I'm honestly surprised I struggled to spot any stray arm off the side of the screen when I was watching it. And as for what the Hobgoblins get up to, there's really nothing shown here on the level of Gremlins. You may be wondering that, if you've got a low budget that was clearly that tight, you'd maybe not want to make a film that relied heavily on special effects. But Rick Sloane was a master of exploitation filmmaking, knowing that if he could acquire a cool cover, some good photos for the back of the VHS with the name Hobgoblins on it, that it would make more than its budget back from money from teenagers visiting their local video shops. And I gotta respect the hustle, honestly. Sure, he clearly ripped off Gremlins, but these kind of movies are more common than you think. And it's not like Joe Dante, director of Gremlins, can talk when one of his earliest features was the Jaws rip-off Piranha. I think the moral of this video is not to judge Hobgoblins or films like it, but for me to judge myself for being dumb enough to pay for this on Blu-ray. What was I thinking?